Hey, I got a question, Clyde.
What's that?
How'd you get your name? What is the GSXR? And like, what's
It's a car thing? No.
GSXR is a Suzuki motorcycle.
Okay, I didn't know.
Okay, it's not a car, bad.
And,
Close enough.
An automotive thing.
Yeah, I have 2 bikes, and one day I turned on the PlayStation and I just said I need a username, and I was like, I like my motorcycle, so I'm like GSXRCLYDE, and it kind of just stuck with it. And I've went down the road of maybe I just changed to Clyde or something else, and it kind of just stuck with it. And
nice.
I still ride to this day, and it kind of just goes there. I think it's more funny for me to not change it because I like when I go in people's chat, they just go GS, yep, Clyde, yep, we're good.
Yeah.
I feel like I've had that moment a couple times. Yeah.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just find the word and just someone comes in stream, says, hey, and you're like, there's a bunch of letters there. Which one of those has a word?
Which one of those?
Yeah.
You know what the toughest ones for me are? The ones that are very Japanese, where there's all Araka, Shama Harieto, something like that. I'm like,
all you need to know. Okay, here's a quick lesson in reading Japanese stuff.
Is this a hack?
The
Life hack?
Japanese language, it's always done in like ka, sa, ta, ba, pa. So when you're reading something, just read it like that. Like you're not mixing anything together. You're just speaking in very specific ways.
Well, have you ever seen the Japanese names in Twitch, but then it converts it for you? I've had that a couple times. People have come in and there's Japanese letters, but then there's a text next to it. I'm like, oh hey, yeah, you. I got you.
That's just weebs pretending to be Japanese.
Just weeb.
I'm pretty sure.
So Clyde, how did you get started in Twitch, man? What's the beginnings, the origins?
The beginning, how it all started.
Yeah. What was the first game you streamed?
The person responsible for me turning on that button on the PlayStation is actually in chat. I see Dina. I was playing Destiny, and I was new to the game. My real friend in real life, Rob, he took me through Vault of Glass. And I was on a self-resing warlock, and I think I set a world record of how many deaths you can die in that raid.
Self-resing warlock.
True deaths? Like you didn't come back from them?
Or... no. I would die, self-res, die again. It was bad, and I totally got carried. I was under-leveled, and I just wanted to, because I seen him playing it, and I was like, ooh, what's these raids about? And we beat Atheon. And I got the Vex Mythoclast. First time.
Of course.
And of course, right? And they were mad. Very, very mad. And I was like, cool, let's do something else. And we go to Crota, and this is where it gets real bad. Get up to the Death Singers. I get an icebreaker. 4 out of the 6 left.
Damn.
They left.
The salt
was real. And Rob said, well, luckily I know how to solo Crota, so hey, go stand in that window and shoot a rocket, and I'll sort them. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, so this can be 2-man, because that's the stuff that kind of intrigued me about it. I know it takes 6 players, but how can we make this harder? And we beat Crota. I put the game down. I was just really busy with work. I'm a general contractor, and construction, it can get busy, it can get slow, and I was just real busy in the point of my life. And I came back for Taken King, which to me was one of the best installments that I had a lot of fun with, and started doing raids. And King's Fall was always, it had a special feeling to me when I started doing it. It meant a lot to me when I would beat it, or I would hear people beat it. People would get excited. And Dina told me, said, hey, we always have 6 to 8 people in our PlayStation chat. And she just said, hey, you should hit the start streaming button on Twitch, and people could talk and chat. And I was like, all right, I'll try it out. I had my cell phone in front of me. I'm reading chat, and I'm like, I should just go grab my work laptop. And I had the comments on screen, because I was just like, I didn't know what Twitch was, you know? And I was sitting in the tower one day and two guys, you know, follow me around. You remember that D1, people just follow you around the tower. And these guys just messaging me. And they asked, hey, can we just do this raid? We're at 297 and we're at 293 and we can't find a group. No one will take us through. And I was talking to my buddies. I'm like, let's just invite them in. I'm like, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, King's Fall. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. They're like, well, we need to beat normal mode. And my buddy's like, no, we'll just take them through hard mode. And I was like, sure, why not? You know, so we brought them in, and just to see how excited they were to beat each encounter was just mind-boggling. You know, they're like, they knew the fight. They've never been in there, but they've watched the raid so much that they knew that they couldn't do it because they couldn't find a team, but they actually knew every position. Like they knew totems, and you know, we got the Oryx and we beat them, and like they were just so excited. And I still talk to those two guys this day. They were actually my 40th and 41st follower.
That's awesome.
Shit.
Wow.
Oh, what an awesome story.
And just seeing that excitement, you know, and I was just like, you know, that was really cool. So I started reading into Twitch, and I'm like, oh, okay, you got to market yourself. So what I'd do is before I would play each day, I would go on to like 6 different forums, and I would post, hey, looking for people to play with. Come check me out, you know. Twitch.tv/GSXRCLYDE, and people would come in, and you know, they would just be like, hey, you run a raid? I'm like, yeah, you know, jump in. And I would, you know, just to see like people come in, and the first thing they tell you is, I don't have this, I don't have this, and I don't have this, and I'm not high enough light level. And just for you to sit there and tell them like it's okay, they were like, it was like a breath off their shoulders. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, you don't need none of that. We're good. Like, we can teach you.
They were so used to being like, what? No.
You don't have Gallahorn? Get out.
No Black Hammer?
Right.
Adios, bud.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, and then like, I would go back and do those old raids too. And like, I would tell people like, hey, you know, don't need Gallahorn. Don't need none of this. You know, you're good. And I'll one sword Crota. You're good, you know? And it was a relief for me. And I was like, this could be a thing, you know? I was like, people really, you know, need help with this. And, you know, I've seen people do the trials help and the crucible help. And I was like, you know, like, I really enjoy the raids, and how can I do something different, you know? I always found ways, like, you know, remember I sat there for, what was it? 72 hours of gameplay to solo Oryx. I detonated 15 bombs for 12 hours straight.
Wow.
Jeez.
And I could not get the 16th one to detonate. And I was just like, that was the only challenge I quit on. It was rough. You know, I was asking around Reddit. I'm like, what do I got to do? And they're like, just wiggle the stick. I'm like, dude,
wiggle the stick.
I'm like, I'm trying so hard to get this. And then I remember I sat there and I did the 2-man totems with the Titans with the armor of light bubbles, and you're running around the plates, and there's 5 knights trying to hit you, and it was just crazy. And I was just like, and then, you know, then we got the Twilight Garrison. Like, you know, I used to skate so fast on the Titan that if I hit a wall, I'd die because I was going too fast. And then like I just started seeing the community build, and then we hit Wrath of the Machine, that was just a great raid. I mean,
it was a great raid.
I was just so shocked of the first day of doing that raid. And I remember we got to Axis, and you do 1 round of damage and his health bar moves this much, and you're like, oh boy.
Oh no.
I'm like, what do we do? And I just kept pushing it. You know, I was on PS4. I was just, you know, telling people like, hey, you know, if you can get in a raid with me, you can. Nightbot was my best friend. I'd always talk to Nightbot, even though no one else was in chat. We were dudes. You know, we're still homies to this day.
Nightbot can be rude, but he is the homie.
He's always been there.
Yeah.
I always thought Nightbot was a she.
Yeah, you know, it could be. Depends, right?
I always think she seems like a girl.
Yeah.
And I, you know, Wrath came out, and people kept coming to my chat like, do you play on Xbox? And I'm like, no, I play on PS4 at the moment. And they're gone. And I was like, man, that sucks. So my community bought me an Xbox, and I started leveling up on Xbox, and I started playing the double platforms, and you just kept going with the viewer raids. And then I was like, I kind of want to get into the other stuff, So I started doing challenges. I started doing speed runs of Wrath of the Machine. And we found ways to, hey, like if you're on hard mode of Wrath of the Machine and you move the part so fast, the tank doesn't even drop. So we were actually doing the siege engine part in about, I think our fastest was 3 minutes and 12 seconds. It was just nuts. We did the whole raid and it was 21:27. And Xbox beat us by 40 seconds. Yeah. But I was friends with the guys, but it was cool, and then like it was it just got into a thing where, people just kept coming around, and I could tell like it was like a needed thing, like people needed help. And I know what it's like personally. I used to be the guy in D1 that would message you like, hey, Nightfall, strike. I was the annoying guy because I had no one to play with. So I knew what it was like. And I was just like, I feel bad. And then I've met, I love telling the story. There's a guy in my community, his name's Jocko. He played with me. I mean, this guy came in, he never beat King's Fall. But he comes in and he literally had every single gun, any loadout, everything you needed, and he was at max power. He was 320. He just never beat it.
Wow.
So he comes in and I'm like, hey, we're going to be in the middle. We're on ogre duty, and we're going to be, he's like, that knight's in that corner. Like, he could tell you the degrees of where that knight was going to pop out. He knew the fight, but he just couldn't beat it. And we beat it. It was hyped. He introduced me to his 9-year-old son, Joey. And me and Jocko became really good friends. And he DMs me out of nowhere and says, hey, what do you think about me flying you out to LA with you and some of your raid buddies, and let's surprise my son for a birthday party? And I was like, I'm totally in. Totally in. So we did that.
That's amazing.
He flew us out there, got us a loft. And I go hide in the bedroom. And Joey walks in, and everyone's like, hey, my name's so-and-so, my name's so-and-so. And you see him just looking around. And I come out, and I go, hey, I'm Clyde. And the ecstatic of his face, he was just like, oh, my God,
Wow.
And,
that's incredible.
It was the first time I ever used a face cam. We had one of those little PS4 face cams. And there's actually a command in my chat, ! Awesome. It pulls up the clip of me signing my Scuf and giving it to him live on stream, and he still plays with it. And I had a Scuf with the money on it, so every time he plays, he does a little money with his signature. And that, just to do something like that, and to build a connection like that with a family, to me, I just go, hey, I'm the person that hits a button every day and plays video games. But to some people, you give them a connection that you can't overlook, and I've gotten messages from people saying, hey, you don't know how much you help me and my family connect over video games. We sit here and eat popcorn and watch your channel. And, I think that stuff's just really cool. And then the whole talk came up of, hey, you can get Twitch partnered. And I was like, what is that? Like, you get that cool check mark. I'm like, oh, man. I'm like, we got to get that. So, I pushed. I got that 48-hour deny letter. Got 2 of those. And
I think everyone has that story.
Oh, yeah.
Just about everyone, unless you started with like a massive YouTube channel.
Yeah. And then I got partnered 2 weeks before, or no. It was like 2 weeks before Guardian Con 2 years ago, June 1st, 2017. And then that's when the email went out that the affiliates could get sub buttons. So it was me and I'm Sarah Daniels. We were the last 2, I think, to make that cut. And like, they rushed everything. Like, I got the email at like midnight. I think my sub button went live 12 hours later.
Wow.
It was just like nuts. Like because they were, how they write you and they go, 2 to 3 days. And I'm like, all right, cool. We could breathe. And all of a sudden I'm playing and I just hear this ding. And the little zombie robot on OBS. There's no alerts.
The default alert. That's just like,
the straight default alert. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, we got a sub button. Like, what do I do?
Wow.
And like,
had you thought about sub icons already? Or was that also like all default?
It was all default. it was just all like, you know, I wasn't ready for it, you know, because I was sitting there waiting. I was waiting for 2 weeks to hear something back on that third app, and I was just, you know, I really wasn't expecting it. I was just like, you know, I was telling Chad, I'm like, I think we just got to give them more. I think we got to just keep the concurrent going, and I was just thankful. I was like, wow, this is awesome, and you know, just the way that the community has treated me for, you know, these past 3 years now, it's just been insane. And
it's awesome, man.
You know, ever since, it's more of just, you know, I love helping the community, you know. And then I jumped on PC and I realized what mouse and keyboard gameplay was, and I was like, you know, and now I put a controller in my hand. And I'm like, oh, what is this? You know, I just love it.
Do you do 3 accounts on Destiny too?
I used to.
Okay.
Now I do. I main PC, I play on my PS4, and then Xbox, I have about 3 subs that level up their accounts, and I just play on theirs.
Nice.
Because it got too hectic with work, and I just told people, I'm like, cross save. When cross save comes, I'm gonna be
right.
Oh my
God.
Yeah, I know, right? So you still have like normal regular person job as well as doing this too.
Yes, I'm a general contractor.
Gotcha.
I've had my own company for 5 years now.
Oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
And I really enjoy it. Last year, I got my real estate license as well.
Nice.
Trying to get into that. So
how
you know,
awesome.
How's the juggle of that? And then what's, I guess, if you could give some perspective to people who would like to get into Twitch, but also are working full-time jobs, and you know, it feels like an uphill battle, obviously, with the amount of time that's just available in 24 hours, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not enough time in the day. You know, when I was really trying to push and grow, I streamed for 14 hours a day, sleep for 2 hours, and go to work. It was rough. It was rough, and I was streaming every day. And you know, it's consistency. It's you know, it's all about consistency on Twitch. I've had days where, you know, when I was trying to grow, when I was first starting out, I would take 2 days off. I'm like, you know, I got family day, I got stuff to do, and I come back and I'm like, I lost half my audience. What do I do? Like, and you know, I always tell people, like, hide the number, don't look at it. Like,
yeah,
it will stress you out, and I see that with upcoming people with, you know, the affiliate program and people that are in like the 50s average. You know, they're freaking out about their numbers. It's like, look. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Just, you know, do it on your own and grow, and, you know, it will come. And like with the work, it kind of like got to me. Like I kind of lucked out with it because, you know, I own the business. So I kind of just started telling guys like, hey, I'm getting into this. I need to start training you guys pretty much so I can work from home. So that was a disaster. You know, I'm sitting at home, I'm doing emails, and I'm like, all right, let's get ready to play video games. And I get a call like, yep, everything's broke. And I'm like, oh. So I'm like, all right, got to go here. And I'm like going on Twitter and Instagram. I'm like, I'm going to be late. And it's kind of just, you know, you don't need to do the long, like I stream a lot, you know, I do the long streams. I feel like if people went to work at their regular 9 to 5 and come home and stream from 6 to 10, that's the, you know, it's prime time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if people just treat it as a hobby, you know, just treat it as a hobby and go, hey, I'm going to go to work, come home, and I'm going to stream a couple hours. And that's kind of, you know, where it's going to be. And then you could finally start opening up into, well, this day I can do a couple extra hours. And you start finding ways to like juggle it to where you're like, all right, this day, Mondays are terrible. I can only get a couple days in, or maybe that might be my off day. And then like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I can get some more in. It's more of just, I literally had a planner. I'm scheduling hour by hour. I've done a lot of work into it. And it kind of just gets easier for me. And still, I mean, now, I mean, there'll be time where I'll be streaming and I'll be looking at a work email and like someone whispers to me like, are you all right? And I'm like, man, they know when something's wrong. Like, I'm just trying to answer an email over here. There's something bad. They hit a water line. Like, it's not good, but we're all good. Hey, you know, it's stressful, but you know, I can't.
That's an interesting level of stress to juggle, because obviously with streaming is a very volatile career to begin with, because the fluctuation of numbers and content and the ebbs and flows, but to also juggle the owning your business and those kind of stresses that go along with it. Like that's It's a very unique perspective to have.
Yeah, I just, you know, keep no sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, you know, I'm always on the grind. I just, I don't know. Anything I get involved in, like I want to be the best at. I want to give it my all, and that's just how I've been. I kind of had like a railroad start when I was in high school. I had a full scholarship to Iowa. Tore my ACL my senior year. Lost the scholarship.
Wow.
And graduated 2 days later. Left for the Marines. 8 years, 2 tours.
Wow.
Got out and said, "What now? What do you do?" Well, I got a whole crap load of money I got from being overseas. Let's go spend some money and be stupid, right?
Yeah.
Let's go party.
That's,
you know
what I'm talking about, man.
Go buy a house and a boat, and I bought an Audi A6, man. I just spent all this money and just partied it up, and I was just like, all right, you know, reality check. What do you want to do? And I went when I was in the service. I got my associate's degree in criminal justice. Thought I was going to be the cop, you know. Wanted to be like the SWAT team guy, kicking open doors and stuff. And I don't know. I went to the academy, and I was kind of scared because, you know, I'm doing the training, and the guys standing next to me, they couldn't shoot. So I was like, these are the guys I'm supposed to work next to? No, I'm kind of not. I'm not trusting it right now, and like some things happen.
Real life kid checking somebody's KDA.
Real life.
What's your stats, bro?
Let's check this guy's stats. All right, he's got a 21% bullet pattern. All right, we're good. And I just, you know, something just clicked, and I was just like, you know, that's not what you want to do. And I started getting in construction, and was sick of working for the man, so I just started on my own, and that was rough. You know, I was passing out flyers for 14 hours a day, no work, no money coming in, and finally it just paid off. And it's just like, you know, just like Twitch, it's advertising. You know, you can do so much, and you know, when you guys had James Work on here, he was talking about the charity. When me and him went to Pensacon and did the charity stream, which by the way, it was awesome. We raised over $34,000 that weekend.
Amazing.
Got to hang out with Joey Fatone from NSYNC. We did like the bye 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 dance. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
That's incredible.
You know?
That's great.
So they gave us a panel. We got to go talk there. We got to actually get a private room in the hotel, and we did a Twitch panel. You know, Twitch partner talks, and it was cool. We're like, no one's gonna show up. William Shatner was doing a talk right down the hallway, and like 30 people showed up. And the constant question was, how do I grow? That's what everybody said. How do I avoid the trolls? And I'm like, what game do you play? They're like, Fortnite. I'm like, good luck. And, you know, and then there was like some people that did like arts and crafts. There was a real cool thing, a mother and daughter that did arts and crafts. It was really cool. And then like some people they just said, what do I do to grow? And I just told them, like, look, you can only advertise on forums so much. You know, you can only, you know, post on websites. You know, they got things now where I've seen advertising websites where you can spend like, you know, $30 for 2 months, and they can plug your website out to like all the social medias, which I think stuff like that's cool, but you know, it's just consistency. That's why I keep telling people, like, you know, if your name's always around, I mean, that's what I always do. I'm always lurking. I'm always trying to find the people that are sitting on the 9, the 8s, and you host them and just brighten their day, you know.
Nice.
And, I'll never forget that. It was Slayer Rage. I did a 12-hour stream, getting ready to sign off. I'm like, all right, working a couple hours, and Slayer Rage hosted. I was at like 20 viewers. And he hosted me with 1,400 people. I'm like, what do I do with my hands? What do I do? And I'm like, we're gaming all night, you know?
Yeah, call into yourself and tell yourself that you're not coming to work. Be like,
right. I'm just like, hey, I'm
Clyde,
off today.
Clyde, it's Clyde.
Can't do it
today, man.
Gotta keep going.
And I was just shocked, and I'm like, man, you know, that's just a cool feeling that you know, to feel honored like that. Because I'm like, man, I used to be in this guy's chat, and I watch all his YouTube videos, and then like I just started meeting the Destiny community and just seeing how chill everybody was. You know, I did what was that, Make a Wish Foundation with True Vanguard. We were on front page, and it was like Lupo, Goth, and Crafty hosted me, and I had 15,000 people watching.
Wow.
I'm like, all right, this is pretty nerve-wracking, you know. And I'm sitting there, I'm like staring at the number. I'm like, oh geez, what do I do? But I was just like, man, just play, you know, just do what you got to do, you know. It's crazy that like I tell, like, I'm starting to tell my family about this. Like my mom's coming into chat now, and like, and we had family dinner last week, and my grandma's like talking at the dinner table, and my aunt and uncle had their friends over, and my grandma looks at him and goes, "Have you ever heard of Amazon Prime?" I'm like, "Did she just say that?" I'm like, "Can you say that again so I can record that?"
That needs to be a sub notification right there.
Right. I was gonna record it, and she's like, "You're not putting me on your website," but it's just like, it's cool to see that the family understands, and like, and it's cool because I tell my friends, and they're like, "You play video games, you nerd?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
Yeah, but, I play video games. Right. Who the fuck doesn't? It's fucking 2019.
Right, and I sit there and tell them, like, you don't get it. And then they come in and they go, wait a minute. Like, Rob gets so mad because Rob taught me how to raid at first. And Rob's like, wait a minute. You play Destiny, you get to raid and have fun, or you're playing Crucible or whatever, and you're just playing with chat having fun, and you get revenue from it? I'm like, yeah. And he's just sitting there like, the cartoons like back in the day where like people would turn green and they get like dumbass on their forehead. That's kind of how he feels every time we talk about it. And it's just, it's just funny, and it's kind of just like it's weird, but it keeps me in check
for sure.
It's like, it's either like work, gym, stream, like work, gym, stream. That's it. So it's like, I'm always busy because like when I got free time on my hands, I'm just like, all right, what can we do? Like, I just feel like, I wasn't really focused, but now it's like,
and there's always things to do offline. Like it's never ending. There's always something that could be taken care of offline, right?
You could always improve your stream, right? There's always like, I can improve this graphic, I can improve this alert, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah, that's how I was. I just started YouTube just a little bit ago. It was like 2 months ago, and I was just like, I just posted a video the other day, and everyone was talking about the service revolver, the 180 hand cannon from the Vanguard. All I did was just told a little detailed message on how to unlock the gun and how to farm for it, and it's got like 6K views in 3 days. I'm like, nice. People like this stuff. I'm like, I need to start. Speaking
of that service revolver, chat wanted me to ask, like, have you gotten a good service revolver yet?
8,640 tokens, and I don't have the rolling one.
Damn.
Wow.
All right. And what part are you trying to get?
I have Outlaw Rampage stability. I need Outlaw Rampage range masterwork.
Oh, I got one of those. Yeah, it only took me 800 tokens. I think I got like 3 actually.
Wow.
I've been hearing that for the past couple weeks.
Just rude.
I'll dismantle one of mine for you.
Sounds like
take a video.
Cool.
Throw it back into the loophole.
Just video it and tag me in on Twitter.
Sounds like my season of the Forge RNG, man.